Welcome to a new school year. I hope that you are as excited as we are to get your students back on campus and to engage and hang out with them and teach them some amazing stuff. In this episode, we are going to be celebrating the new school year by each of us sharing our 5 favorite EdTech tools that we personally love using in our classroom to teach our students.
Not only that, but we're also excited to each share our top 5 EdTech tools that we think you need to try this school year that might just revolutionize the way you teach. Hey, welcome to the EdTech Unpack podcast, where we inspire and equip educators to create meaningful learning experiences, highlighting a thoughtful approach to the integration of technology as we teach and transform the lives of our students. I'm Aaron Long.
And I'm Desmond Suarez, and we are passionate about helping educators learn how to better use technology to engage their students, to teach them some amazing stuff. So today, we always like to start with a get to know you question. Today, Aaron, what was a crazy beginning of the year surprise that you had, good or bad?
Well, so, those of us that have taught in small school, multi-grade, it's always like up to the last second here, you're scrambling. But even in bigger schools, sometimes things aren't running as smoothly as you'd hope. So one year in particular that comes to mind, down to the last minute, what classes am I going to be teaching? Okay, so talk about like the surprise you don't want. You're waiting to prepare until you learn what classes you're responsible for. And I've really only had one year that was like that. But oh man, that was so stressful for me. So hopefully you're not in that spot if you're tuning in here today and you already know what you're teaching. But Desmond, how about you?
Yeah, for years I would just be like, I don't know. I'll find out when I get there because something's not. But our school has gotten way better about figuring that out. But just a few years ago, I remember they were trying to add some elective classes, and they came to me and were like, "You'd like taking pictures? You want to teach a photography class?" And I was like, sure, that sounds really fun. I'll get to learn more about photography and teach my students. And in the back of my head, I was like, but we don't have any equipment. We've never taught photography class. And so, yeah, anyways, we started without any equipment. And very quickly, I was like, this is impossible. And I'm so blessed to be at an awesome school and support system that was able to get me equipment and teach it. So it was, I don't want to put that in the bad category because I was excited. I was the one that was ready to do it and excited, but had no equipment, and they supported me. I mean, it turned out great. We ended up making, a film class, and we won an award. You should check out our episode about how we won an award.
So I forgot that was all in the same year. So the year you won your award was the same.
No, we won the next year.
Oh, the next year. Okay, so it took a year to get up to speed. Okay, awesome. Well, hey, we're starting back this year, Desmond, and we thought we'd take a second here to just talk about what does your school year look like this year for you personally. So how's it looking?
Yeah, it's, I am more and more passionate about getting in my classroom. So I am really excited to engage with my students again. And if you work at a small school, public schools teachers, you might think we're making this up. If you're an Adventist school teacher or a smaller private school teacher, you're going to be nodding your head. I teach mostly in the high school, and I have 6 different preps, and I think it's fun, but it's hard, but it's fun. So I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade computers, and I'll be teaching them the high school computer level, computer apps. And then I'm doing 9th and 10th grade Bible class, 11th and 12th grade Bible class. Those are combined. We're not a huge school. And then I'm doing, I think, world history and then photography or film this year. I think that's 6. Did I miss one?
I don't know. No. That sounded like 10 to me, though, hearing you go through all that.
Advanced placement computers. That's the other one.
AP computers. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Well, you got a full plate. It's funny hearing you talk there. I'm like, well, I can't really stack up in that regard. And that, as you know, Desmond, and some of you out there might know, I'm not in the classroom right now. So I've been on our admin team here. But actually this year I am excited because I'm getting to help with the class. We're resurrecting our media arts class, and it's going to look a little bit different than when I last taught it. We actually have a high school teacher, shout out to Bradley Colvin here at Burton Academy, who's going to be leading out with a podcast element for our students. And so we're excited to bring our students into the podcast studio here and really just guide them to the place where they'll be leading out and producing the content, and we'll be supporting it. So that'll be fun. And then also an element of that class we will be producing short video content, so shorts, just to help promote things happening here in the Seventh-day Adventist school system, and particularly here at Burton Academy. So we're excited to just get the kids into more content creation on the regular. So that'll be exciting for me in terms of classroom. Beyond that, hey, I love event planning and getting to bring schools, teachers together, having a good time, creating events to invite people to. So really that's a real blessing that I love about the position I'm in here. So I'm looking forward to the year.
That's cool. And you'll be teaching college class come the spring, right?
Yeah, so I have that opportunity. This is year 3, I guess. I've finished up this summer, so I'll teach second semester our EdTech class for the collegiates. And so those of you out there at Southwestern Adventist University, if you haven't yet had my class and you're an education major, I look forward to it. I also teach that in the summer, so I do that asynchronously. So I'm right now just wrapping up my summer class. And but yeah, so the fall I'm off, and then I'm back to it in the spring semester.
Very good. And I understand the syllabus is just a list of all our podcast episodes. Right?
It's becoming that. Yeah, I'm trying to work them in more and more.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Very good. Well, hey, Desmond, that's a little bit about our year. But listen, let's help the teachers out there tuning in by unpacking the tech. So should we do it?
Let's unpack the tech.
Let's do it. All right, so it's time here. We're going to dive in and share our 5 EdTech favorites. Desmond, you're up. What do you have for us today?
Yes, of course, we're so excited to share these because, well, we have a podcast about it. So all of our episodes are all about things we enjoy doing. But, it's weird. I think one of my favorite things to do or favorite technologies, and one that I use so much, is just teaching straight from my learning management system. So we use Schoology. It doesn't have to be Schoology. There's a lot of different learning management systems that you can do this out of. And if you refer back to episode 2 of the EdTech Unpack podcast, I talk about how I do this, and I show some of my classes. But instead of using like a presentation software, my learning management system becomes my presentation software with my assignments built in. And I think if you were to take one technology service away from me that would make me cry the hardest, it would be a learning management system. I just don't think I could teach in the classroom without that right now. The next one is kind of new to me, and it's changing so quick. So I'm going to list it in my next one of like things I want to try too. But Notebook LM, and we have some shorts and stuff about that too. But Notebook LM is Google's one of Google's AI products. And what I love about it is I can add my PDFs of what I'm teaching, my content. I can add links, YouTube videos, up to 50 in the free version. And then the way I've been using it is primarily, I've used it a bunch of different ways, but having it generate test questions for me. But it does so much more. I've experimented with the podcast stuff in the past, and there's some new features that I'm just going to hold my tongue on because I want to talk about them in the upcoming stuff that I was testing out, and I'm excited to tell you about that too, maybe show you. Another one that I really would have a hard time teaching one-to-one, like when students have one-to-one devices, I don't know how I could do this, would be I need to have a service that I'm using that I can monitor my students' devices right there. And I think a lot of schools have a service like this, but as I talk to teachers, either they're admins or they're not getting training on it, because it sounds like it's not being used in the classroom as much as it should. But if your students have devices in front of them, you need to be able to see and control their devices. I think that it's a must because they are so sucked into that, just as we would if we were sitting. You do professional development for adults. They're just as bad or worse than students.
So listen, Desmond, I love this one. Okay. I actually skimmed your top 5 here before I wrote mine. Okay. This one, yeah, you were ahead of the game. I would have put this on mine if you hadn't had it because, listen, this would be right at the top there. We just had a training here on our campus this week about it. It is so important that not only, like Desmond's saying, you have the tools, but look, if your school has the tools in place, but you don't have the training, please reach out to your IT director or whoever's in charge of that and ask for training because listen, it's so sad to me to hear teachers talk about how, hey, the device is such a distraction. I want to learn how to, I want to use it less because it's a distraction. Well, really, in my opinion, anyway, all right, we can have our opinions. It's typically not so much that it's the device being the distraction as an unmonitored device, okay? They're very different interactive experiences for the kids. And it really comes down to how proactive are you going to be. You've got to decide to be like a 10 out of 10 on proactive, on monitoring, on engaging, on circulating. It's all about that. So I don't want to hijack your number 3 here, but I just so love that was on your top 5. That's a must do for everybody.
Well, that reinforces it being in my top 5. And I'll tell you how I do it, because I used to just use one device and my laptop, and I couldn't look at it the whole time, the students, because I am using my device as presentation almost the whole time I'm teaching.
I'm right here with you. I'm like, yes, what he's saying right now, do this. Okay, go for it. Continue.
Yeah, but you had to have a second device. Yeah. It could be like a cheaper Chromebook. For me, having my MacBook here and my setup, and then having my iPad here, and I have the students on here, and I can walk around the classroom looking at them. It drains my battery so fast on my iPad. By being able to monitor them, and while I'm lecturing, while I'm teaching, I can very easily click on here and close their tabs, lock their computers, put them in a scene that will prevent them from accessing certain things, or just like a restrictive scene. I even have one that's like no YouTube and other distractions. And I have certain students that regularly get put in that scene. And they don't push back usually, because they know what I'm doing and they understand why I'm doing it. Some of them appreciate it, but I think it's a must. The service that we use is GoGuardian. We're going to do an episode very soon. Maybe our next episode, we're working on it, is going to be about light speed, which if you're an Adventist school in North America, we have special pricing. Please reach out, and you know who to reach out to get your special pricing. If you don't, reach out to us. We'll help you. But you use a different service, right, Aaron?
We do. So we use Jamf in partnership with Apple Classroom, because we're an iPad school. And so our training this week was on how do the two overlap, because they do share some overlap, but how are they different? So, on the Jamf side, it's very much like you're talking about with GoGuardian. You have your scenes. I think they're called lessons still in Jamf. Same type of concept here. I'm interested, though, later. Okay, maybe we can dig in and say, all right, how many of these scenes do you have? Because to be honest, I only had 2 profiles I built. Well, 3 perhaps. Okay, so I would do my all access. All right, it's everything that's safe and whatever. And then I have for math class. So everything they needed for math was there. And then my naughty list. Okay, I didn't beat around the bush or make it sound good. It was just my naughty list. All right, so the kids don't see that, but I know that's what it is. And so so if they've been caught, off task, whatever, they're distracted, we would even employ this for when students had low grades. Okay, we just don't want the device to be a distraction, and so they would be on the second list. And so what that means is, for me, the whole of the internet is blocked. Okay, except for the whitelisted sites and apps. Okay, so on the primary list, everything's open except the stuff we block. On the secondary list, everything's blocked except the stuff we open. Yeah. Okay, and so in functionality,
whitelist versus blacklist.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's 2 different ways, and then you have your testing profile. So I did have a 3rd testing profile, but in short, we would put kids on the naughty list, for better terms, for a 2-week period typically. Okay, so just then this is not a one-day deal, but if they demonstrate the ability to come off of that list and they've, in our minds, fixed the issue, then off they come. Now, that was my personal process, and I loved when I was full-time in the classroom using that flow. But anyway, we could really dive into that one deeper. We need to keep it moving.
For sure. And I'm going to save most of mine from when we do our episode on light speed. I'll tell you all my details. But it's mostly about how I manage it within the class. And you have to subscribe so you can see that. The next one, most of you might not be using this one. I don't even want to recommend it for most of you, but I love it. And that is Davinci Resolve. And Davinci Resolve, even their free version, they have a paid version, but get their free version. And if you outgrow it for some reason, then you need the paid version, but you won't for a long time. Their free version is great, and it is a powerhouse video editor. It will be intimidating if you haven't done video editing before, and that's okay. You don't have to use it. There's easier stuff out there. No judgment. In fact, I probably use it more often than I should. But I love it, and I love to make videos for class. But more importantly, you see I have a video station back here, or a computer station back here. I got 3 computers on there, and that's what my students use to edit videos on is Davinci Resolve. But there's other more accessible video editors, like what was the one we saw at? Oh man, I
remember
on it.
I do not remember the name.
WeVideo.
WeVideo. Oh,
WeVideo.
Really good. Really
it
good.
Actually costs more than DaVinci, but it will run on almost any device you want. It's pretty cool. And it's a whole lot more accessible to the students, although they can figure out Davinci Resolve. All right, my last one sounds basic. Maybe all of you are doing it. If you're not, then what are you doing? You got to get on this. We are a Google school, and I guess if you're not a Google school, this doesn't work as well. But giving all my assignments with Google in Google Docs. Sometimes I'll do Google Slides or something else, but I write the assignment on there, and then students know I share a link to them, and then they can make a copy of it. And I have friends and colleagues who do PDFs all the time, and it's such a mess for the students and the teacher. Put everything in Google Docs. If you need help learning how to do it, we did episode up in the corner.
Just click on the link in the top.
I'll put a link in the corner. It talks about some of my methods on how to do that, and you should be doing that. All right, Aaron, your turn.
All right, Boom, here we go. I'm going to actually time myself so I don't go too long here, because Desmond and I both have the propensity to talk about things we love. All right, so here we go. Classroom tech ready to roll. I know this is not a specific tool, but listen, one of the things I loved as a full-time teacher in the classroom was having everything ready. Okay, so what did this mean for me? My TV, so 65, 75-inch LED, way to go all day these days over a projector, in my opinion, especially for, say, third on up. Maybe second on down, there's a lot of merit for touch TVs, interactive displays. They're so cheap now. I mean, so cheap, these LEDs. And you don't need a smart TV if you've got an Apple TV.
Nope. And it doesn't have to be that great of a one. You go the only reason to spend more money is the better ones will last longer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The high quality for what you're presenting in class doesn't need to be that high.
It doesn't. And brightness, can be a factor. But TVs are so much brighter than projectors, mm-hmm. It's almost a non-issue. So, and then quality sound. So we had an episode where we went over all of this stuff. So again, links in the top. I don't remember the episode, but it'll be up here in the top if you want to really dive in. But we talked about the issue of classroom sound. So I'll cut to the chase. You can actually watch the episode and get our full dialogue, or here we go. Sound bars. We used to have the whole surround sound system. A number of our classrooms here at Burton Academy still do, but a lot of our classrooms are converting, like my wife's, over to a sound bar system. You can get a phenomenal Bose sound bar from Sam's Club or other nearby stores, often on sale for the $140 to $200 range.
Or 100. I got one there that's 100. Like 100.
Wow, that's
underneath
amazing.
My TV.
And they'll pump it out. It's quite incredible, the sound they put out. It's so much easier to have great audio video in a classroom these days. It used to be so difficult. So having your audio video ready to go, having the sharing element set up, whether that's Apple TV or for the Chromebook schools, having that ready to go. Join codes. So when I think of classroom tech ready to roll, I'm thinking of the tech itself plus the join codes. So all of your classroom set up, whether that's Google Classroom or Schoology with the join codes. I had, maybe I'll drop a picture here as I'm talking about it, but one of the things I used to love doing was I had these glass displays on my front wall, and each of the classes had their join codes all ready to go on day one. So when they came in, onboarding was so fast and easy. And this is something I'm huge on. I know so many teachers that'll tell me a month into the year, we're still trying to get everybody in, and sign in takes so long and this and that. Listen, the first week or two of school should be all about onboarding, getting your routines dialed in. And today, so much of that has to do with technology. But that means you as the teacher, you got to be ready to roll with your classroom tech. So for me, that's my number one. All right.
And that was episode 10. And I want to say about the rostering, a lot of services allow you to upload a CSV, which is basically a spreadsheet. They'll give you a template. You download the template. You add probably, the students' names and emails. and then they have access. Like that's how that's even quicker than join codes.
And you know what? I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe join codes is like a thing of the past, because to be honest with you,
they're still out there.
As long as they're rostered in Google Classroom or your LMS, I know that Schoology integrates with some, but that is one of the huge selling points for Google Classroom is almost every EdTech tool out there now can roster you just pulling in from Google Classroom. So, wow, it's so much easier. Just make sure your roster's set in Google Classroom.
Spend time setting up your roster, and then everything else should be smoother. there.
Pulls right in. So, all right, my number 2, teaching with Notability. So, as a math teacher by trade, not just creating notes. Again, we have an episode on this. So, click on the top here right now. Okay. And we went through a little bit about what that experience is like, so you can go watch that. But I just have to tell you, so having all your notes centralized that aren't just erased at the end of class, like we've all done on the whiteboards or chalkboards, but you can call them back up. Okay. So number 1, they're something you can recall. Number 2, they're shareable with students. So I love the ability to share my link to my notes with students in Google Classroom or your LMS of choice. So at the end of class, man, they've got that shared link. They go home, they have all your notes with them. And then with that, Notability, watch the episode we linked earlier. It has the ability to record within the app. So it's like a digital whiteboard. So it does audio recordings that are synced with your pen strokes. So you can embed those in the file, and students can go back and replay them. They don't see you on screen, but they hear everything you said, and they watch your pen strokes. So it's like watching you teach the lesson again. And so something I love, I just came to where I couldn't live without it. And so Notability, I know that there's some competitors out there that also are performing close to Notability standard.
I love Notability. We couldn't do a versus on that because we'd be arguing for the same thing. But I think that's episode 4 where we talked about document cameras, and you brought that in as a totally digital version.
Thanks for the live research here. We didn't
trying to keep it up.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, so Canva is my number 3. Again, I can't leave it off my top 5 list. I use it every day, multiple times most days, and I always just want to know, how can I use it more and better? There's so many tools. You know, we interviewed Canva at ISTE this summer in San Antonio, and go back and watch that episode linked above. And we heard about their newest releases. Help me out on the terms here, Desmond. I know it's Magic something.
There's Magic Activities. And then it was Canva Code. And check both those out there. They're 2 new tools. I've been using Canva Code so much.
Oh, dude, what you've been doing on Canva Code. So he has a short.
Don't tell yet. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Oh, it's coming. Okay. All right. So I'll save that.
I'm talking about that.
So cool. Okay. I forgot. All right. Here we go. So Canva, though, everything from design to now app creation on the fly, interactive learning. Man, it does it all. Okay, so check out Canva. Brisk, okay, so this is my number 4, is BriskAI. And something that I've used a little bit in the past, and I'm so here's where I'm at, Desmond. I've enjoyed using Brisk so much, and it's a Chrome plugin, right, a Chrome extension. I'm a power user of Safari, so all my stuff's saved in there, and I'm like, all my links and everything. I'm like the Safari ecosystem guy. Okay. I'm literally on the fence of like, man, do I switch over to Chrome because of Brisk? It has so much usefulness from
That's
but you're
amazing,
not saying that
man.
because of Brisk, are you? You just want me to switch over to Chrome.
Yeah.
So BriskAI is so powerful. I mean, the ability to summarize, you could be watching a YouTube video and it'll summarize that cleanly for you. I mean, it's not just an AI tool. It's like working alongside you in real time, where you don't have to go fishing for it. You're not visiting another website. It's a little plugin or extension that kind of floats at the bottom of your screen. Anytime you need it, you just ping it and ask it what to do, and it'll integrate with the web page you're on. So to me, it's just such a real-time use. I'm like, man, this to me for productivity is where AI really has the ability to impact regular users like me. So I'm excited to use that more, and I highly recommend it. So my last one, number 5, I can't get away from this. So we've had some comments, and there's always a difference of opinion about tools like IXL. Okay, so my number 5 is IXL and formative assessment platforms, because if you don't teach math, or maybe a subject that IXL maybe isn't as built for as it is for math, you might say, whatever, IXL. Maybe there's a different formative assessment platform. Great, no problem. Okay, so I just have to frame this. So Desmond, so many people have a distaste for tools like IXL because of the way it's used, all right? Or perhaps it doesn't reach the higher levels of learning. And so I get all that. I do get it. But in terms of its ability to provide the teacher with real-time feedback over which students understand the concepts you're presenting, look, it's phenomenal, okay? So it's like anything. It's a tool, and you can use it well or you can use it poorly. And it's unfortunate to me that too many people have experienced it being used poorly, and so have a poor opinion. I think I've used it extremely well, and it's only informed me in real time over my students' understanding and learning in a way that it allows me to intervene in real time. And therefore, it's a phenomenal tool for me as a math teacher. Okay, so I can't leave it off my top 5. If you haven't really dug into it, listen, and you've heard bad stuff, I encourage you, try it out for yourself. Just have clarity over how you're going to use it. The platform is not going to teach students for you, all right? We still need great teachers teaching and honing their craft and connecting with students and presenting concepts as the mechanism for learning. And then IXL and other formative platforms like it are there to support the teacher gaining real-time insights into student understanding in a way that you can intervene in real time and truly help the students who need it most, while allowing others to accelerate to their ability. So there we go. I'm going to round it out right there. And I know we were already like over our time here, Desmond.
I was saying, what's your time, man?
Well, I wasn't watching, but it's 10 minutes and change. So
there you go. That's good. That's fine. I think that's pretty good. I think that's fine.
All right. So hey, are we going to shorten this next section here, because we got to get through these, don't we?
We got to get through it. I do want to say that was episode 15. And one more thing about IXL. I was talking to a parent who just moved into our town and is going to be bringing his second grader to our school. And just in conversation, I just met him, and he mentioned that he was using IXL with his second grader. And he just shared a really cool story where she was learning math, and there was something that was challenging to her, and they figured it out together. He told her how to do it. And then after that, she just breezed through all of them. So you can use it at home too. I hadn't thought about using it with my second grader, but I need to look into that.
Love it.
All
right, man. Yeah, so Desmond, I'm gonna throw it back to you here. All right, we're transitioning here to our second part of this episode, and that is 5 EdTech things to try. So Desmond, what are your top 5 to try?
Yeah, and some of these are brand new, and that's why I haven't used them. Some of them are I haven't used them enough. And the first one on my list is Canva. You mentioned it in things you do, and you've inspired me a lot to use it more. And I've been using it more over the summer, and I'm excited to use it. I started using the end of last school year a little more. And what I'm kind of interested in doing is I'm teaching my 7th and 8th graders Google Apps this year. But now Canva has grown so much that they have a lot of alternatives Google Apps. So I'm going to have to reevaluate my curriculum, because I'd like them to kind of learn both. And so I got to find a way to teach them both, or mix it up and do some of both. I don't know. I'm still brainstorming on that. But Canva, I think, has gotten a lot more powerful. I got frustrated using it early on because I wanted to do things it wouldn't let me do. And I'm really excited to use Canva more. Yeah.
Thanks for joining the party, Desmond.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be fun to have you here.
Canva needs to give you an extra boost or something.
I try.
Not a paid sponsorship.
I try. No, absolutely not.
No. So the next one I want to do, I've been using Canva for too, but is vibe coding. If you've not looked into vibe coding, it's kind of bizarre, and I love it and hate it. Being a computer programming teacher, thinking to some of my former students who are now studying computer programming in school, and they kind of are very resistant to it because they love computer programming. They had a teacher that really instilled the love of programming for them. No, I think they would have loved it anyways. But yeah, so vibe coding is basically you give it a prompt and you say, program this for me. All right, I'm going to share my screen and I want to show you something that I made this week. And okay. So for this, I saw a podcast episode. Did I send this one to you? I don't know if I did. Okay. So I saw a short where these guys were trying out a game very similar to this. And what you do is you click start game and you pick the closest to that color. I'm not sure. I vibe code, so it's not perfect. The next one, and I think it's somewhere around there. And it gives you a score for each one. That was not very good. It's more over here. I'm better at this, really. No, I'm not practiced that much. It's probably here. And I got, that was a good one. I got 0.03 on that one. And total score of 0.72. And it saves your scores down here. I couldn't find what they were doing. And I couldn't find the website where they were doing it. And so I just searched for, I searched for it, couldn't find it. And so I went into Canva code. That was Canva code. And I described it. And I gave it like 5 bullet points. And it looks different, but it basically is the same exact game.
Dude, I was so impressed. So I wanted to ask you, because I haven't. How long did that take you to code it?
Coding is a generous term. Because all I did was
that's why air quoted.
Yeah. It probably took me 5 to 7 minutes to kind of think through what to write.
Man, and that's where we're at now. It's like you have an idea or you see an idea and it's like you drop it, it's coded for you, it's usable, it's functional. Oh my goodness, so crazy.
And I'll put this in the link too, or in the description too, but I also through Canva code created an app that would and I made a short about this, so we'll link the short that would help your students memorize a passage. So you can copy and paste a passage in there. And then it will like hide parts of the passage, and you can like have it rehide different parts. You can have it more or less as a scrubber. And for that one, like I was experimenting. I was just help me. I think my whole prompt was create an app that receives a input that will help someone memorize a passage, or it was something to that effect. It was like 1 sentence, maybe 2. And I didn't tell it how to do it, and it came up with that. And I was really impressed. So I want to do vibe coding more this year. I'm excited to create apps for my students to try out. So the next one that I'm excited to try, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have a few ideas, but is AI video creation. So Google's VO3. The beginning of the summer, I paid the $20 for a month access to Google's AI Gemini stuff, and I was able to get access to VO3. But now, Aaron, they are like almost giving it away. Not quite, almost giving it away. This is probably going to change so quick because it already is changing quick. But now you can access it through Google Vids, which is a very basic video editor. It's basically slides, Google Slides, but it animates them more, and you can do so if you have Google. I think only if it's the business account. I don't think it's on the school account or your personal account. I have the paid personal account and I don't see it there. But then you can do, I think 10 to 20 generations a day. And so I've been playing around with that. I don't think it's their best model. I think they've reserved the best model for the paid version. But you can also, and I'm going to share this, you can use it through Notebook LM. And it's a little different through Notebook LM, and I'm going to share this. I'll just play the first part of it.
Hey, while you're pulling that up, Desmond, I'll just mention one more tool out there that's really new at the time of this video in terms of its development speed. But Grok on XAI, so XAI is Grok. Grok?
Yeah.
Is it Grok?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to take a while for my mind to like reprocess how to say that in my head. I don't say it out loud.
I've never used it either, but you've been playing with it?
A little bit, but what I'm impressed at is the speed. So I really think it's probably, I think it's probably the fastest AI video generation tool out there. And I
didn't know they had video.
Dude, they are moving so quickly with it. But you can do, if you're on premium for X, you get, looks like 50 video renders per day.
Wow.
Pretty
Play
generous,
with those, man.
and it's fast.
All right, so it's fast. I want to see if it's good. You got to post some to
I'll try it
to
out.
our socials. But yeah, and I'll pull up Google Vids for us right now as well.
Let's see it.
But first, I guess I'm going to share this. This is through Notebook LM, and in Notebook LM, a reminder, you can upload your own documents, and it'll pull from that. Here's a summary. So I uploaded a chapter from my geography book from Teach TCI. And it created a summary. So I'm just going to scrub through this a little. It's like a slideshow.
All right, let's get right into it.
Can you hear that?
We're going deep.
Can you still hear it? All right. So, and I can scrub through this, and it kind of gives summaries of the chapters. I need to fact check it because it gives a lot of facts. I think they're true, but I'll need to fact check them in the book. But I think I'm going to use this as like a supplemental thing. Where I'll teach the lesson and then I will, I'll teach the lesson and then I will give this to my students as like another way to review. And I was thinking about the fact checking part. Tell me if you think this is a good idea, but I think I'm going to get candy or some kind of reward. I don't like giving extra credit, and they're going to have the textbook. And anytime that there's like an inaccurate fact on something I give them from AI, they get a piece of candy or they get a reward.
That's great.
I want to reward them for finding mistakes. And I will, at the beginning especially, I will come through it. I will look for mistakes because that's my responsibility as a teacher. And so that's still where I'm a little concerned about a tool like that. But I'm excited to try it. And then Google Vids, I think I can generate a video for you real quick. I'll share my screen again. I'm probably going too long. But I'm excited about this.
You're at 8.5 minutes, but who's counting?
Oh, all right. This will be my longest one. So I can, I'm in Google Vids and I can go to share and I can do a VO, and you have to the first time you'll have to like do it over here, generative AI clip. And I can do a hedgehog. Oh, if I can spell. Racing a fox. I don't know where that idea came from. And it takes I'd say about a minute. And so it's pretty fast. How fast has Grok been?
Tough to quantify. So I haven't spent enough time with it. And I'll tell you why. I'll start something and I'll leave the tab and let it work and come back. So, for that reason, I don't really know because I don't sit and watch it.
Gotcha. But this one seems to be about a minute. I did use it the other day. I was just curious about, I copy and pasted each passage from the Beatitudes, beginning of Matthew 5 and it did it was a little creepy. I would show it to my students as like, but then not as like actual material because it's a little too creepy for that. But then what I did is I did a little better job. I went to Gemini and I said, I want to create a video for using Google VO about the Beatitudes, generate me prompts. And I gave it a little more details than that. And it did. So if I insert this and then I play it, see them racing. We all know the hedgehog would win. Oh, look at him go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fast. I mean,
did you hear sound? There should be sound, but okay, good.
I did.
So yeah, it's pretty fast and that one's looked pretty good. So yeah, that's my video creation. I created that one right in front of your eyes, y'all. And I'm excited to try more of those. My next thing, where's my tab? That I'm excited to try. And this is nothing real technologically advanced, but I teach a film class and I want to use the proper script writing tools. So I don't have a specific one picked out yet that I want to try. If you have ideas, put them in the comments because I'm looking for a good script writing tool. But that's something I'm excited to use with my students this year. Something that's affordable too. So I got to figure that out. And then my last one that I am excited but nervous about is VibeGrade. We met them at ISTE, and I think of all the things I want AI to do is to assist me in grading. So I'm excited about that, but terrified about it at the same time. So VibeGrade, you're really going to have to earn my trust. I got to figure out how to safely test it out. But I'm excited to, hopefully that will transform my grading.
Well, hey, All right, let me restart my timer here so I can try to. I'll be shorter this time, and since you went a little longer here, so all right, we're gonna track it. All good. No, we're doing good here. So my number one thing would be video creation. All right, so I want to challenge you. Try video creation. I don't care if it's your cell phone, filming shorts of your students, or just things happening in the school. If your school doesn't post shorts of students, I know some schools prefer not to. Things happening on campus. Desmond, I had our rig ready to go here. Let me grab it.
Yeah, dude. This is what we brought to ISTE to film on.
Oh, here's our video rig. We're actually going to post kind of a build short on this here in the near future. Haven't filmed it yet. But Desmond and I are both into video rigs quite a bit. And, it's such a fun thing to do. Those of you that are into technology, building a rig. And now it's way more affordable and accessible than it used to be. So I am super excited to film content with, this is new for me, on this newly built rig this summer. We actually have 2 of these. I'm working on the second one. And this is something the students will be using. Okay, so this is not just for our staff. It's for our students to use and learn on and create content on. And wow, what a powerful tool to be able to showcase things happening in your classroom or your school while also passing along a skill. Okay, so there you go.
I'm going to add on to that, and that like you said, Aaron, get those tools in the hands of the students. Yeah, yes, they will break stuff sometime. Train them, remind them how much it costs. But if it's sitting in your cabinet or in a back office the whole time,
it's a waste of money.
It might as well be broken, right?
Yep, that's right.
Put it in their hands, let them use it, teach them responsibility and how to use cool tools like that.
All right, number 2 for me, SchoolAI or MagicSchool. Pick which one you want to try. But listen, I love that they're a sandboxed environment, meaning it's rather controlled. These platforms are built for schools and students to use, for teachers to try, for teachers to guide their students on a monitored interaction with AI in a very sandboxed environment. So it's a great way to get to know how to use AI on the teacher side, but also how to guide your students in using it safely and appropriately from the student side. So, hey, if you haven't checked them out, encourage you to. There's other great tools out there, but these are 2 that we know are built for schools, they're built for students and teachers. We've tried them both. Desmond has a great presentation he gives where he highlights these tools. If you haven't tried them, encourage you to do it. It's really important you stay up to date with the AI tools out there, whether or not you use them in your classroom. It's important to know what's out there because guess what? Your students are using them. You just may not be aware of it. So, all right, number 3, lesson planning support with ChatGPT Pro. Desmond might say with Google Gemini. We have an episode. All right, help me out on the number here again. I think it was 19. I'm going to guess 19. 18. Check out episode 18 above. Listen, we did a full episode on just testing out how good are these tools for lesson planning. And I don't know about you, Desmond, my takeaway was, wow, I would actually spend time developing my pre-built, in ChatGPT Pro, it's called a project, or you can train a full GPT by uploading your documents, being standards or other course outline material, whatever you have for your course. And my goal with it was to build a simple prompt that it would then help generate high-quality lesson plans on the regular through smaller prompts. So check out that episode because I think you'll see, wow, this has great potential for you today. This is not a way down the road thing. I would absolutely, without a doubt, be using this if I was full-time in the classroom to help create a high-quality lesson plan. Socrait's my number 4. So in let's see, I think it was our part 1 or was it part 2 of ISTE? Maybe you can, we have so many episodes we're referencing
here. Episode 19 or 20.
19 or 20.
Watch them both.
The link is above. In our trip to ISTE this summer, we interviewed a small company. They had actually launched, I think the day we interviewed them or the day before. But it's a really cool application to help teachers track their interactions with students. Okay, it's very teacher-centric, and it helps you come to a better understanding of how many positive and how many negative prompts you're giving students. Helps you pre-draft communications when needed. Super cool. Not going to go deep on it because we did in the episode. Check it out. I highly recommend at least being aware of these kinds of tools out there, whether you use them or not. And then my number 5, hey, I'm a big iPad guy, but on this one, I got to just mention Class Tools, which is new for Chromebooks, just launched this summer. Desmond's always plugging me, all right? But listen, I think it's really neat. Yes, they are playing catch up in some ways with Apple Classroom, all right? But in other ways, they've done some neat things. And one of the tools they've baked into Class Tools is translation. Wow. So that from the student device to the teacher device, both using Chromebooks, there can be translation between them natively baked into this management tool. And I think that is so cool because these tools, while some are free, they're not presented in a way that fits into the flow of class like this tool is. And then others like it cost a lot of money. And so I think it's worth checking out, especially if you have language learners that could use some additional translation support. So there's my top 5, Desmond.
I just want to add to the last one. If you're not using Chromebooks for both the teacher and the student, which that requires and looks awesome, but you can also use IPEVO as a standalone product. And we've not tried it ourselves, but Microsoft has a version as well that looks pretty awesome.
That's right. Hey, all right. We've talked about a lot today. Our favorite things in EdTech, the tools, also the things that we think you need to try out this year. And I hope you've enjoyed our time here together talking through that.
And please, as always, send your EdTech problems to be solved or just say hi. We would love to feature you along with other feedback. And you can do that through our website at EdTech Unpacked, where you can submit an audio recording or we have a contact form. We'd be so excited and blessed to connect with you there. But also, we are on the socials. So find us on Blue Sky. Find us on x.com, now on Instagram and Facebook. We're all over the place. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and like. Do it right now. What are you waiting for? Like, have you not gone to YouTube and subscribed? Let's do it. I don't want to be this person that's always begging. So let's have it. Let's go ahead and subscribe and so you can get some more.
All right. And hey, listen, I know you're starting a new year. It can be overwhelming. We've talked about so many tools and recommendations. And if you're kind of new into the EdTech space, or maybe you're just super cautious and you see the negatives in what technology does for kids, that's real. Okay. There is a reality to the negative side, but there's so much positive potential, whether that's to be supportive of struggling learners through dictation tools, whatever the case is, there's so much potential that educational technology has to be a blessing to students, to bless you in your classroom and in your workflow, to even sometimes shorten the workday and take less home with you. We just want to encourage you. Don't be intimidated. Be courageous, because God has a great plan for you in your classroom this year. And we hope to be a part of that journey as you venture into EdTech and explore how it can continue to bless you and your students in your classroom this year. So we will be remembering you as we kick off this year and cheering you on. And remember, there's no substitute for great teaching. It's not just about the tools and technology you use, but how you foster meaningful relationships with your students to transform their lives. We'll see you next time.